promised, it's about to get, I don't know how much dramatic it is going to get, but this is about to get the whole classy and sassy and everything about it. Two casts from the Real Housewives of Nairobi, Lisa, Christoffersen. How you, the last time we were actually with you, we were talking matters, women in rally.
That's right, women in motorsport, women empowering women in motorsport. Yes, I remember.
Good evening to you.
Good evening too.
Uko salama?
Niko poa kabisa.
The last time you actually spoke Swahili fluently, I was like, wow.
Umeshangaa?
Nilishangaa. Right now, sasa nimezoea.
Umezoea sasa?
Sasa nishazoea. And Daktari.
Dr. C, yes. I'm a winemaker. I'm CEO and founder of Samantha's Bridal. Yeah.
Right. Any more hats on that, or just stick
yes,
to...
of course, I've become a reality star now. Apparently, yes, I'm a reality star now. I'm an educator. Yes, I do honor school where I teach wedding and event planning.
I'm intrigued. How did you get into Nairobi, Real Housewives of Nairobi?
You know, I have been on the A list of Nairobi for the last more than 20 years. I publish Nairobi's entertainment guide called Going Out Magazine. I am at the heart of it all when it's happening in Nairobi entertainment. You see, the brand Samantha's Bridal, what we do is to help people navigate and truly celebrate life's greatest moments. And so where there are celebrations, where you're talking about the Nairobi, the A list of Nairobi, I'm there. So obviously my name was bound to come up.
Right.
Yes.
Lisa, still the same question. I'm intrigued. How did you get into
Real Housewives of Nairobi? Very interesting and very funny actually story. One day I get a phone call from Carol from DNR Production, and she was like, "Hi, we'd like to talk to you and invite you in for an interview of Real Housewives of Nairobi." I'm like, "You got the wrong number." I was like, first of all, I'm nobody's wife. Secondly, I've never been a housewife. And she was like, Tulia Jamani. It is just the name of a franchise. Of course, we know it's a franchise. Started in America, Real Housewives. And
ever acted before?
No, never. And so I went for the interview. I agreed and thought, okay, let me hear her out, because she was very, very calming, very soothing, and explained herself well. So I went for the interview, and she showed me, I don't watch TV, I've never watched a reality show in my life. So she showed me some of the episodes they've just been shooting in South Africa, in Cape Town, Joburg, and Durban. Very interesting. And I thought, okay, let me just give them a chance, and they can come home, interview me, see me in my own space, rallying world and all of that. And they asked me, can you bring a friend over? And just to see how you engage and how they can see you on camera, because seeing you and talking on the phone or having a conversation across a dining table is a different thing completely to television. So they did that, and I invited my Pauline Chegu, my fellow rally driver. I said, come home, let's have this conversation. We were talking about the WRC coming up. So 2 months later, they called me and said, look, we love you, we want you on the show. So I went, hey, now it's real. So backwards and forwards on the negotiations, the contract. And I thought, at the end of it, life is about having no regrets. So let's do it. So I agreed to do it. And here we are. We have finished filming 12 episodes of Real Housewives of Nairobi. Okay. Trending #1 in Africa, by the way.
And who's a real housewife, according to you?
Well, Mine is supposedly married, and so is Vera, and so is Dr. C here. So I'll say Dr. C, out of all of the ladies, is the most authentic married woman for a long time.
But then, without even handpicking the casts in the reality show, according to you, who do you feel this truly defines Real Housewife out there?
I would still say Dr. C, because you are very much a housewife. You are very connected with your husband. They're very good friends. I've seen them. They're best friends, and they have a daughter, Andrea, and she's you know, they're very much a family unit, togetherness. And what I've seen as well is Dr. C's husband supports her in everything she does. You know, I see him driving her to the shows, driving her. We did a shoot with one of the scenes we shot was in Kibera, and there her husband was like with us. He wanted to come to Kibera and see what it was all about. So out of all of the women, Dr. C's marriage, I think, is the most authentic.
And I'm curious, you know, the fact that you have your husband there, and even your daughter, you know, we are seeing them in the reality show. What's the whole reason behind this? You know, even including your family there.
Okay, look, the other reason I got onto the show, I mentioned earlier on that I'm a winemaker.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, people know my products, but they don't really know me. And we know that people buy people. So I wanted to put myself out there for my fans to really know me, because I need them to buy me. But the other thing is, listen, my family, we are simpletons. We've got nothing to hide. We're just simpletons. Like what you see is what you get.
I love it.
So we open the door.
But when you say what you see is what you get, I was taking a look at you know, snippets of the show, and really it was there.
Yeah.
Is it scripted? Do you go and you know, there's a script and you're like, Dr. C, this is what you're going to say. What happens? Tell us.
Okay, so earlier on you actually asked a question about a Real Housewife. So when this franchise started internationally, it was about ladies being looked after by rich husbands, and that story did not fly really. Because later on, internationally, what they found is that women across the world are doing it all together, okay? Whether you're single, whether you're divorced, or you're married, or whichever your condition is you're doing. But if you take a bunch of women, you put them together, there's always gonna be stories. Even I belong to a chama, you know, Kenyan chamas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the stories that you see on air is exactly for as long as we're women. There is always, the dynamic is always sometimes the same. And it's a very interesting when you have a fly on the wall, watching and seeing the perspective of that fly on the wall. So when the production house comes, they set up their cameras, and the cameras roll, and we just interact. And when you look at the cast, it's a representation of the kind of women you will get in any particular, shall I say, ecosystem.
Yes, society.
I was helping my daughter this morning with the zoology exam.
The words is sticking.
The ecosystem, yes. You would just get. So the production house did a good job to get the cast properly, to represent from every walk of life. What would you be getting? And that's a representation. And when you put us in one room, in the same, you'll get the stories.
Right.
You don't need to script anything for women.
How hot does it get? Because fine, there's no script there, but you're looking at it, and you know, you're seeing probably Minette there throwing shade to Vera. You know, it really gets personal. Both of you are two mature casts in there. How hot does it get for you, Lisa? Do you sit there and you're like, what's happening here?
I know, I guess I'm rolling my eyes again. Like, hey, maneno tena. Ui. You know, it's at different times that the shade gets thrown. And I think for me, when Dr. C came on board and hosted a beautiful event in Limuru at Brown's Cheese, and Vera is always royally late. I mean, and she admits herself that she actually has a problem to respecting time. And at this particular event, she was over 5 hours late.
Well, I remember she told you to come at, was it 3 p.m.?
3 p.m.
Yeah, and she came, I think, it was 8?
It was 8 p.m. and we had actually completed the tour. We had learned how to make beautiful kombucha. We had, you know, had a fantastic evening, and we were all asked to bring a plate that meant something to us. A story related, and we all related our stories. In one way, we could get to know each other through plate. I see Vera coming, I'm like, she's wearing her plate on her head. Because she was wearing like a Vietnamese plate with some flat tassels. I thought maybe she wants to keep the flies away. I'm not sure. And then...
This is you throwing shit right now?
Well, literally, absolutely, because I was like, who would walk in wearing the plate on the head when we were supposed to have it at the dinner table?
Okay.
Really? So I had said to Dr. C, let's retire up to the lawn around the fire. And as we sat up there, Vera was on a mission. I saw another side of Vera I had never seen before. I always thought there was that kindness, a sweetness, a heart inside this strong, woman. And the way that first of all, she attacked Mine, and then she attacked Sonal. And when she attacked Sonal, it was a little bit too sensitive, too personal, and it didn't need to go. She had gone far, you know about your boundaries, but that was below the belt.
Okay.
And we were all actually horrified, to say the least. And it was unnecessary.
Okay. Dr. C, how do you separate this? This the whole reality life, but then there's the personal life, your own personal life. Do you sometimes sit down and then you're probably having dinner with your family, your daughter there, your husband, and then the particular shit that was being thrown earlier, you just remember it and you're like, what was going on here?
Okay, so I'll tell you something about my family. Okay. And Lisa, I'm really surprised. You really got it really well. With my family, everything is on the table. Yeah, and we involve our daughter a lot of the times. And as early as yesterday, when the show launched, we were on a trip in Malindi, and I was having a good time. I even, on the show, I say that I delegated my thinking mind. So I think so that, and I didn't have the presence of mind to, so I sort of, she asked me, so Mommy, why did you have to get so drunk? Yeah, so she asked me that, but I remember preparing her for the show, and I told her that, some people may say bad things about us that are not true, and she's like, you didn't know, Mommy? Me, I know it's going to happen. But the other thing, the earlier question you asked, in terms of how personal does it get, you see my lines on the show, I say I am formidable, I'm a wall, you can't get through to me. Those are words that really encapsulate how I feel right now at this stage in my life. I'm a mature woman. I've lived life, I've seen life. So it can get as personal as I want, and at my age, you can say whatever, you want to call me a punda? Just go ahead. If I'm not a punda, I'm not a punda,
that particular line, Snell is saying, don't call me a punda.
Yes. I will not feel nothing. Like, you can't get through to me with that. But sometimes you may feel vulnerable, like particularly the episode yesterday. We went to this pajama party. I woke up, there was these cameras in front of me. And I'm like, what? I was just taking a nap. I was taking a nap. This is, and I felt really personal about it. You have to watch next week's show to find how then it actually went.
Okay.
But now looking back at it, I'm just embracing it. Like, you guys, you think I snore? I asked my family, do you think I snore? My daughter is like, maybe sometimes. Yeah? I can talk about it because I don't care. Okay. I don't care. People can think what they want to think.
Okay.
But I have the presence of mind to talk about it. I'm just a wall. I'm just formidable.
Exactly that. And I think it's also important that we on the show, what you speak, what comes out of your mouth, the production can edit how they see fit. Yes. So you have to be careful and aware about what you are saying, because as they say, those words can be used against you.
Yeah.
And because of time, to wrap it up, you mentioned about you snoring, and you're like, do I snore? What are those things that this particular show over time you've learned that I can actually do this? It has brought out in you. I'll start with you, Lisa.
Well, I think it's about being yourself, being true to yourself, and being honest to yourself. And your boundaries. I know my limits, I know my boundaries, how far can I go, but also being honest and transparent. And for me, one of the things I wanted to do and agreed to do when I entered the show was to also be an inspiration to young women and say, yes, be fearless, jump in the deep end sometimes, because you never know what's going to come out at the other end. And exactly, first time on an international reality TV show like Real Housewives, it's great, but run with it and express yourself. For me, it was not always about sitting in fancy hotels. I could be anywhere in the world drinking champagne, but that's why I took the women rallying. I took them tire clinics, took them to Kibera, took them for hostile environment awareness training. Do things different, but things that are Lisa, that are me.
Even as you answer the same, who's your best in all the characters? Who's you're like, wow.
That's a trap. I'm not falling in. I tell you something. All the ladies are actually my besties.
Okay.
Why? Because all of them represent different energies.
Oh, baby.
This lady here, she is amazing. Like, she has the youngest spirit. She's the best travel buddy. Did you see yesterday? Yesterday's, that's episode 10. She just whipped out some champagne out of nowhere and some glasses, and we were just like, she knows she's the most practical. I've bought her books. She's written books about just how to be practical in the forest, in the whatever. So
the Charles book.
Funny tips.
The final chopper, before we get the social media handles, which character did you take a long time to really adjust to them and really understand them?
I must say I have not really understood them. And because perhaps I didn't really know, I think I must say it's Vera. Yeah, all the other ladies, Sonal, I knew her. She's a gentle spirit. I knew her from my circles. Like I said, I'm an A-lister in Nairobi. Susan, I knew her. Fashion, she's amazing. We've already worked together. Mine, I could just see myself in her at her age, So I'm just saying that I do not have the favorites. I think the cast, the production house did a good job to put the ladies together.
Okay.
And what was the question again? The earlier one that we were supposed to answer the same?
What it has brought in you?
So for me, what it has, when I got onto the show, because I love the franchise and I love the international ones.
Okay.
And I thought Nairobi could really bring it on, because I've made a career out of entertainment. Going Out magazine, Samantha's Bridal, now Winemaker, still on the entertainment scene. And now the Nairobi franchise is the best on the continent.
It is, it's trending number one.
And I have always believed that being in Kenya, you could be you are already traveled, be already international, even if you've never left here. The typical Nairobian, even a typical Kenyan, is already international. So I'm just so happy to prove that.
Ladies, I have quite a lot of questions. I'd really love to know what Nairobi means to both of you, broadly, but then because of time. So your social media handles, I'm pretty sure even the fans right now definitely have their own load of questions. I'll definitely have to invite the whole gang, both of, all of you.
Good luck.
Yeah, seriously, good luck.
Good luck.
And hopefully to see all that, the whole sass and drama that will be there. But then your social media handles and your last words. Definitely the young women out there, the young girls watching you, and they're like, I really want to be like Dr. C. I really want to be like, I really want to drive cars like Lisa out there, Your final words, your parting shots to this, young girls. I think this particular camera,
starting with me.
You can start, Dr.
So from Dr. C, that's Dr. Catherine Masitsa. My social media handles at Catherine Masitsa Rosa, Dr. C. Now, my advice is there's a big difference between the wannabes and the gonna-bes. And the difference is actually taking action. When you take action, the difference is like day and night. So whatever you want to do, take action and just do it.
Lisa.
So my social media handles, Twitter is Lisa C Kenya, and Instagram is Lisa_Christoffersen. I'm also on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, so we're all out there. And my words to all these fabulous, beautiful young women out there, believe in yourself. Never doubt yourself. Don't always listen to other people, only people that you trust. Find maybe one mentor that can really guide you, but do it and do your best and never hurt people along your way because you don't want to be that person hurt. So be kind, be gentle, be loving, be strong, and find that inner strength. I always say, as a survivor, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I love it. Thank you, ladies. It was don't be a wannabe, be a gonna be.
So there's the wannabes, the people who want to be. You know the wannabes?
Yeah.
And then there's the gonna-bes, people who are actually going to be. So are you going to be, or you're just a wannabe?
I love that. Thank you, ladies. Lisa Christoffersen and Dr. Catherine Masitsa. Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you, Asante Sana, to everyone who made this particular production possible. Nyuma camera pale Daviso, on matters sound, Kolo, director Pato, and on matters graphics Jane. Rola Nyamai was on the sign language interpretation. I'm used to list.